Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to wrap up the individual readings for NewJeans. In this video we're going to focus on Hyein. For those of you that do not know how these videos work, we're going to check 4 different sections of her life, which is her current energy, her career, her love life, and then any healing messages that come through. In the description below I will have the timestamps so you can jump around between those sections, and if not, I will start with her current energy to see how she is currently doing. So how is Hyein currently doing? How is she feeling? What are the vibes? Okay. So it seems like she's going through some sort of existential crisis of sorts. Isn't okay. I don't think it's too bad quite yet, but let me explain. So we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands talks about conflict. However, to me, it feels more like bickering at this point. I don't think she's going on full-blown fights. Now, I'm saying that because this Five of Wands makes me think of getting rid up of pent up anger and letting it all out, letting all that frustration and anger just whoosh come out, and it could come off in a fight, but at the end of the day, whatever had to be said was said, whatever feelings had to be hurt were hurt. So I do feel that she may be in an environment where people are quite vicious with the words that they say, or when a fight breaks out, not full blown on punches, but I mean people that are just saying things in such a way that you're like, do you really get along? I do feel that she's in an environment where people are like that, because the Five of Wands talks about conflict, it talks about fights, it talks about competition, and I do feel that with her, the reason why these fights are breaking out is because of the competitive aspect. I don't really know why people are competing against each other, but I do feel that it just has to do with the industry that she's in. Is that necessarily the healthiest way to be in a group? However, I do feel that it's unfortunately something that could happen. People that are constantly comparing their popularity with each other, people that are constantly trying to get under the spotlight, people that are maybe constantly being compared, and because of that it causes fights with each other. I do feel that she may be in an environment where it's quite tense, quite competitive, or maybe at that moment there's a lot of comparisons going around that is causing fights and creating this unnecessary tension within the environment that she's in. I do feel that this could be within her group as much as this could just be within the industry that she's in. People, fans constantly comparing groups with each other, numbers, maybe even members with each other, like, oh, this one's better than the other because this and that. I do feel that could be some of the cause of the fights that she's in. I'm not necessarily saying that she's fighting, but I do feel that she is in an environment where someone says something and it kind of, in Spanish we call it vivoreo, which kind of I was gonna say a spider. No, when you have a snake and they're hissing and kind of I don't know what the English word will be, but basically what I'm getting at is if someone says a backhanded compliment, or they say a comment that is oh, you're saying one thing but you mean this totally different thing, that's kind of when she stands up and goes I'm gonna tell you off. So I do feel that there are arguments here quite often. Then we have the Judgment card. So the Judgment card usually talks about someone that has this wake up call, someone that not rises from the ashes, but someone that kind of wakes up from their coffin because they hear this call in from the higher ups, from their spiritual team or something along those lines. And this card is usually supposed to talk about someone that is reaching towards their life purpose, someone that is recognizing their life mission and working towards that. However, right now I feel like this Judgment card is here because it is, by the way, it's very cute. I'm just looking at all those little bears just flying around, adorable, very cute. But I do feel that with her, this judgment card is being a little bit more literal, especially because of what we saw earlier with the Five of Wands. She is in an environment where judgment is constantly being passed. So either she's constantly being tested, or, and by tested I mean this quite literally, in the sense of like constant evaluations of like who's doing better or who's not doing better, or like constantly figuring out if their skills are improving or not, or I don't know, there's something where she's I do feel that this is related to her career though, but there's this sense of like constantly being compared with each other, like why can't you be more like this one or more like that, why can't you have these skills, or why can't you do things this way, I don't know, but there's this sense of being molded into something and she's not happy with it or she's not content with. I feel that she may be constantly rebelling or constantly fighting other people. Now she's not content with whatever mold she's been put in. But yeah, with this judgment card, I do feel like she's surrounded by a bunch of people that are telling her do this, do that, become more like this and more like that, and she's not happy with that because it's causing fights on one side, and on the other side, suppressed anger. And I'm saying that because the Nine of Swords usually talks about someone, when it's upright, it talks about someone that's very stressed, someone that is mentally overwhelmed, someone that has a lot of ideas that could be quite toxic going on, someone that is, well, yeah, just stressed and overwhelmed. It's not a positive card. But with it being reversed, I do feel that she's suppressing this energy, so I don't think I do feel that it could manifest one of two ways. One, which is what we saw with the Five of Wands, she's just constantly getting in fights, right? So she's under so much stress that she gets triggered so easily that she gets in fights with other people. Arguments, let me put it that way. On the other hand, this Nine of Swords reverse could also mean that she's suppressing all of that negativity, and it's just a ticking bomb. Like any moment she's just going to like blow off that steam and like express that anger very viciously eventually. But I do feel that it could be one of two things. She's already like little by little letting this anger out in constant arguments, or it's bound to happen because of how much she's like packing all of this negativity within her. But yeah, one thing that I do want to say though is that the Judgment card is actually quite a positive card, especially when it's upright. However, with the surrounding cards, I feel that one of her missions is to be unapologetically herself. However, she is in such a constricting environment that the journey of her becoming herself is going to be very challenging and maybe even destructive. And when I mean destructive, I mean the destruction of expectations, the destruction of ties and people that she surrounds herself with, like getting rid of negativity, getting rid of unnecessary people, thoughts, and situations. And I don't think this is a bad thing, but it could be manifested in quite a negative way. Right now she's young, so it could come off as rebellion, but later on it could lead into like bigger things if this energy is not guided properly. So I'm not super worried for her quite yet, but it's not going to be easy for her at all. Again, it's because of the environment that she's in. She's in a battlefield. When I said that, I thought of like a battlefield of eagles for whatever reason. I don't really know what, I know what that means. I'm just wondering why it was worded that way to me. Anyway, let's go to her career and figure out like what's going on there. So what is going on with Hyein's career? Wait. Sure. 3 fell and then 2 fell, so I was like, okay, whatever. I'll take those. So we have first quarter moon in Sagittarius with Believe in Your Good Luck. We have balsamic moon with A Time for Healing. And we have first quarter moon with Your Commitment is Being Tested. So we have two cards that talk about the first quarter of the moon, which talks about a new beginning. Not a like full blown beginning, but it's still like the beginning stages of something. So it's not like the start of a project or a start of a journey, but it's still like the preparation stages of change. So with Believing Your Good Luck and A Time for Healing, it kind of feels like in her career she needs to start focusing on the positives in her life, or start focusing on like the things that are going her way, or like when things are fine, like she needs to focus on those times, so like that she can give herself some time to heal, some time to like breathe and rest. So in a way it's kind of like celebrate her rewards or celebrate her accomplishments and her success. Like if it's kind of like if she's surrounded by all of this negativity, it will be good. The best way she can survive such a negative environment is by celebrating the small victories, celebrating the times when things are okay, celebrating the times that are peaceful, and that will slowly give her like the tools necessary to say, okay, I can survive these hardships, I can overcome these difficulties and these challenges. Sagittarius is a sign that is very positive, very adventurous, one of higher thinking and philosophy. So I do feel that the best way that she can survive in her career and being able to like heal some of the negativity that she's surrounded with is by focusing on like this higher purpose, focusing on this bigger picture, on like the long-term goals. It's kind of like not tripping up on like her everyday struggles and trying to, you know, put those to rest and focus more a little bit on like the bigger goal and be like, okay, these obstacles right now are, you know, they're a burden, they're bothersome, they're annoying. However, they're nothing compared to the long journey that I have ahead. It's kind of like weighing her options. It's like she's being tested constantly, so like that she can like mentally prepare herself that the journey ahead is not going to be easy. However, it's also for her to figure out that some of the problems that she may encounter right now are not such a big deal when she sees the bigger picture. And I think this is something that she will just kind of learn with time. Like she will eventually understand that some of the comments people say right now, or some of the issues that she encounters right now, don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Like right here with Your Commitment is being tested, I do feel that she's just encountering a lot of resistance and a lot of problems, just so that she is aware that these issues are not, like these conflicts that she's encountering right now are not necessarily going anywhere. Like the industry that she's in is very challenging, and it's one that can take a big mental like toll on her because of expectations, because of people's comments and people's way of acting in the industry that she's in. So I do feel that she needs to kind of pack herself with a lot of positivity, and I don't mean this like toxic positivity of like not acknowledging that things are not okay, but more along the lines of being like, this is not important, this is not something I should even bother with, this is not something that I should even I should not allow this to like get to me. So I do feel that if she focuses on what her goals are, she can in a way slowly detach from some of the issues that she may encounter right now, because she will acknowledge that they're just unnecessary burdens to hold if she pays attention to them. Now, one of the things that this card is kind of highlighting to me is that some of the problems that she's encountering right now are pretty common in the industry that she's in. So if she wants to stay in this industry, she kind of needs to figure out a way to handle these issues, either not allowing them to get to her, or understanding that people will always have something to say, good or bad, someone will always have something to say, and kind of like detach herself a little bit from that and kind of understand that, you know, the toxic environment that she's in her career, unfortunately, is very normal, and, you know, figure out like the best ways to cope with such an industry and understand the situation that she's in. So with Her Commitment is being tested is like one of the things that she's doing in her career is learning how to cherish and treasure the beautiful things in her career, but also learning how to let go of the things that are not necessary, all the negativity that is bound to happen, but she doesn't have to like even pay attention to it, because that is something that will eventually help her survive throughout the long journey of this industry if she desires to stay in it, or if she desires to be in it for a long time. To end of her career though, let's take out some tarot cards to figure out what's going on. We have the Nine of Wands and the Sun reverse. So the Sun card is very positive even when it's reversed. I do feel that again, this is just kind of going back to the first quarter moon in Sagittarius that we saw earlier about, staying optimistic, focusing on the small victories in her life, treasuring the good memories and the good things that happen in her career. Have like these little box filled with positivity, filled with good memories, filled with successful projects or endeavors that will help her kind of go back and be like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm in this path. Something that will constantly remind her, that it's worth it. That it's worth the struggle. It's worth the conflicts that she will encounter and the challenges that she will eventually, again, encounter in her career. Let's talk about this Nine of Wands. Let's start there. So usually with the Nine of Wands, when we talk about it upright, it talks about someone that is being very cautious about doing something in their life because they don't want to open old wounds. They don't want to like trigger bad memories from the past. And with them in reverse, I do feel that for Hyein, her career is something. She may have encountered a very unpleasant thing in her career. Again, all of this talks, all of this constant competition, these things of like being constantly compared. It has caused her to like not view it in a positive light. And because of that, she doesn't really want to trigger anyone or anything. She doesn't want to start fights. They happen. But she doesn't really like starting a fight. I mean, we did have the Nine of Swords reversed, so she does suppress a lot of her emotions. She doesn't like to outright burst and tell people off. She does keep a lot of things hidden, or she keeps them to herself. So this Nine of Wands reversed could show that she is not starting conflict out of fear of like triggering old wounds or just creating conflict that will get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I do feel that she's just going through like this journey where she kind of has to get used to how the environment is, like the entertainment environment that she's in. Try to get the tools necessary to build positivity. Try to get those tools where she can, I hate to say this, but cope with all of this negativity, so then she can grow stronger and stronger and stronger. So that when she encounters anything unpleasant that she may have, when she identifies something that she has encountered with before that was not positive or was not good, she will be able to kind of like turn the tables or change the mentality because of all the positivity and all the good memories that she has. And it's like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. I need to remember why I'm doing this. I need to remember how to overcome these obstacles, and try to bring herself with so much positivity so like that when she encounters something that she does not like or something that she's afraid of, she's able to kind of think clearly before taking action and not allowing this fear or this anger or this frustration to overwhelm her and blind her on how to solve that issue. That seems to be like the main thing with this Nine of Wands. So yeah, in her career, she's just trying to fill herself with a lot of positivity to gain the tools necessary to continue pushing forward in her career. Now let's jump into her love life and figure out what's going on there. We have relax, or a new moon in Cancer. So she's just chilling, healing, taking care of herself, feeling at home. She's not trying to stir any trouble. She's not trying to fight. There's a lot of conflict, but she's trying not to get involved with it, or she's not trying to get too attached to those issues so they don't overwhelm her or bring her in, or like sink her into this negativity. But let's get more oracle. What's going on with her love life? We have new moon with a new start is coming. So 2 new moons already. And then we have a givious moon with you're very close to achieving your goal. So it seems like in her love life, one of her goals is just how to relax, how to chill, and how to have a good time. I think she's just learning, or she's aiming to have inner peace, to have a calm mind, to have very stable emotions, because Cancer is it's a water sign, so it does talk about our heart, it talks about our emotions. To me, my Cancer is in my 4th house, so like that's the most private house, I guess you could call it, or like that's who we really are in private. So to me, this kind of shows that one of the things that Hyein is aiming for in her love life is how to improve herself as a person, and her main goal is how to be okay with herself, how to bring herself inner peace, learning how to calm her emotions. Like her next goal, or like she's very close to achieving this new beginning where she's able to learn how to either meditate or how to calm her mind, calm her thoughts, calm her emotions. Learning how to bring herself back into alignment. She's learning how to, in a way, become like this King of Cups. Because the King of Cups in tarot talks about, shows this guy that has matured, this old man that has matured in their emotions, and therefore they're able to stay calm when there's conflict surrounding them. They're able to be compassionate, romantic, loving, and kind to the people around them. You know, the King of Cups is a very caring sign card, which is also Cancer energy, by the way. So this kind of shows that one of the things that she's learning, or one of the things that she aims to do in her love life, is self-love and self-care. She's learning, or she is aiming to be comfortable with herself and getting time for herself to just kind of compose her energy again, and like bring herself, you know, finding a way to center herself again when there's conflict around her. There is a sense of being gentle and kind to herself, you know, learning how to pamper herself when things are rough, learning how to overcome challenges, and still being able to have this strong foundation of who she is as an individual and as a person, so like that when she encounters conflict, or when she encounters people that can be bothersome, or when people are constantly comparing each other, she is able to kind of stay strong and say, this does not bother me, this does not get to me, this will not tear me down. I don't know why she may have that mentality. Like, I don't know how much conflict or chaos there is in her environment that she aims to be this way. I think a lot of people aim to be this way in a sense of like being able to relax and being comfortable with themselves. However, with her, it feels like this is a necessity. Like she needs to figure this out to be able to survive the environment that she's in. Like, I understand the entertainment industry is rough, but I don't know how. I guess it could be very bad for other people, right? More so than others. I guess it also boils down to age and personality, right? Like, some people from a very young age could be like, you know, fuck everyone, I'll do my own thing. And other people kind of have to grow into that mentality and learn to just be like, people will always say good or bad. Everyone will always have a comment, will have an opinion. Let me just do my own thing, right? Like, I think it takes, to some people, they kind of just grow up with the mentality, and other people kind of have to learn how to think like that and understand someone always has something to criticize. But let's take out some tarot. Ow, that kind of hurt my ears. So we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse, and we have Justice reverse. So for her love life, she's going through some major changes. So again, this time, her love life, as I mentioned many times before, it's concentrated on her growth, on her as an individual, as a person. And these two major arcana kind of show that she's going through a very big transformation, life changing, super important, a checkpoint that she had to encounter in her lifetime, something that is part of her growth. And in this case, one of the things that she's learning is how to find balance, because this balance with this justice card will allow her to be able to speak up, to think clearly, to be able to have the discernment to make a wise decision, to be able to judge people accordingly. And by judge in this case, I mean being able to analyze the situation and the people that are involved with it, and then taking the course of action that is fair or right for her. And I'm not saying necessarily as in like right in the sense of convenience. I'm saying right in the sense of treating people the way that they're meant to be treated. I'm trying to say this in the most neutral way possible, but I do feel that this can also be like putting people in their place if necessary. So, I mean, justice is holding a double-edged sword, and justice can be served in many different ways, and one of those ways is putting people in their place. Other ways is understanding differences, and other ways that you can treat people is by agreeing with them. So I do feel that this justice card is kind of showing that eventually she will learn to have enough inner peace to think clearly enough to make the right decision for her. Being able to prioritize herself as a person, as an individual, learning to choose her battles wisely, and then being able to identify the best course of action that will lead her down the path that she desires. So, learning how to deal with the situation, basically. The other card we have right here is the Wheel of Fortune reverse. So this is Jupiter energy. By the way, Justice is Libra energy. So one of the things that she's going to gain by having this inner peace is just good luck in a way. It's like this abundance of having the right words, being eloquent somehow. I'm thinking of like Libra and Jupiter. Being able to have like this super abundance, like all of a sudden she's very lucky and she can get herself out of sticky situations or out of tough problems and conflicts. Also someone that will be very charming. If you have a Jupiter in Libra, I'm sure that you are extremely attractive and extremely magnetic for people, because Libras are meant to be charming. Now, with this Wheel of Fortune reverse, it kind of shows that in her love life, it might take a while for things to be in her favor, because part of her healing will be a bit rough and challenging, because she will have to face and acknowledge a lot of things that she may not be happy with and things that she's not content with. May it be with the with like her situations, as much as it could be like with the way that she dealt with them. But it's necessary for her to face those issues so that she's able to learn how to fix them. And I do feel that that's why this Wheel of Fortune is reversed. Like at the moment, she may feel like things are not going her way, and she may feel like things are tough and difficult. But the only reason those things are happening is so like that she can acknowledge that there's something that has to be fixed, and for her to notice the best way that she can fix those problems, right? So that discomfort is necessary for her to create a stronger foundation for herself as a person. And this Wheel of Fortune will eventually turn upright for her when she has learned how to prioritize herself, and she has learned what her principles are, like learning what is right for her and what isn't right for her, learning what she's willing to fight for and what she's not willing to even bother with, and eventually that wheel is going to start turning in her favor. So I do feel like these two cards are reversed because she's still like working on that. She still hasn't started this new journey of inner peace, but the moment she starts that, she will be able to see how things are turning in her favor, and that's because she's going to learn how to like weasel her way out of something, of like a difficult situation, and also she will be able to learn what to prioritize in her life, which will give her the ability to know which battles to fight for and which ones to like not even bother with. So she will kind of like lean a little bit away from this Five of Wands, and instead of like bickering and fighting with everyone, she will learn when to speak up for herself and when she should just stay quiet and be like, there's no way this person will understand anything, so why even bother? Or in a way also identify that sometimes people are just projecting. People are talking down on someone, and in reality they're talking down to themselves because of they're just projecting insecurities. They're just projecting their own issues and their own conflicts and their own shortcomings sometimes. And when people have enough inner peace, they're able to identify when someone is projecting onto them, because they go like, ni al caso, which in this case is like people just come forward and you're like what's the reason? Basically that's kind of like the best translation to what I was saying. Okay, now to end off her reading, let's take out some healing messages for Hyein, just to see if there's anything else that has to be said for her. To her? I don't know. So we have the parrot spirit with watch your words. Definitely. Okay, so with the 5 of Wands, I mentioned earlier that she's like bickering with people constantly, fighting with people, and I did mention that she wasn't punching anyone. So with watch your words, life is saying, okay, I understand that there's a lot that you want to say. I understand that you want to defend your position, but be careful with what you say, because someone could use it against her. Some people could be like, okay, bet. Like she could dig herself in a like deeper into trouble. So I do feel that with, you know what's the other thing that I got as well? So okay, let me finish my other thought. The cards are telling her to be careful with what she says, because people can start using those words against her. Okay, yeah. Now, the other thing that I was going to say with the spirit, like something that just kind of came to my mind is like, she needs to be careful with what people, with like relaying or saying to others, or like in a way gossiping. Oh, this person told me this about you. Like she needs to be careful about that, because that could create a lot more trouble. So in a way, she needs, again, this whole thing of like being able to discern a situation and analyze the right course of action. I do feel that right here, because I'm thinking of how a parrot is very good at like not mimicking but like repeating what other people say. So in this case, I do feel that she needs to be very careful with what she says, because sometimes by saying, oh, I heard this person say this about you, or this person told me this about you, that could create a lot more trouble, because that person she's telling that to can explode on her. And you know how they say don't shoot the messenger? That's what I'm getting. It's like she needs to be careful how she says things, or she needs to be wise about who she talks to or how she talks to them, because she could, in a very good heart, genuinely being like, this person is saying this crap about you, what are you gonna do? She could actually just get like whoever she tells that to, even though she's trying to help them, that person can turn on her and be like, you said what about me? And it's like, those are not my words. But I do feel that in this case, it's kind of saying like, just be careful. People can explode on her for no reason. I don't know, maybe she just has this energy that naturally triggers people. I do not know. Anyway, let's take on more healing messages. So yeah, she needs to be careful with gossip. The other card that we have here is a wasp parrot with sometimes life stings. The first thing that I heard with this card was betrayal. Someone will betray her. So it feels like someone close to her circles. Maybe again, it's kind of like she says, she talks to person B and it's like, oh, person A told me this shit about you. What are you gonna do? And then person B can like take their anger on her, or they could go to person A to confront them, and then person A is gonna be like, I never said that, what are you talking about? And that's just creating conflict. And I do feel that in this case, she's just learning how to deal with people like that. She is learning how to not get involved with situations like this. So this wasp spirit, sometimes life stings, I do feel that she's going to encounter a betrayal. And this betrayal, again, could be someone that said something all of a sudden, being like, I don't remember saying that, as much as it could be that Hyein is trying to help someone, and that person, instead of appreciating the help, gets angry at her as if she was the one that caused the issue, right? So she's going to encounter some sort of betrayal that will kind of open up her mind. Not her mind, her eyes, and help her realize, you know what, I think I need some time to myself. And she will start going through like this growth. Now let's take out like the very last card for this reading. I said that in 3 fell. Get back in there. One more card. One more card. And the last card that we have here is a Bobcat Spirit with Life is a Mystery reversed. Okay, that's actually very good. So I feel this card is reversed because soon enough she will encounter the truth of her reality, the truth in the industry that she's in. She's going to understand how things actually work and the best course of action, the best way of dealing with these challenges, with this conflict. So this card being reversed is like, she's not going to fully understand why people react that way that they do, or why there's so much conflict in her life and in her career or the environment that she's in. Like, she's not going to fully understand why these things happen. But one thing that she will understand is how she's going to deal with these issues. Again, in her career, we saw that she's going to gain these tools to be able to cope with all of this negativity, being able to handle and navigate all of these challenges and all of these conflicting people. So this card being reversed actually feels very positive. Like, she doesn't need to know all the answers as to how and why things are happening. Like, why is this person angry at me? Why is this person taking out their insecurities on me? Like, she's not gonna know why all these people do that. However, she doesn't really need to know why they're doing it. All she needs to know is how to deal with these people. And I think that's what's happening here. Like, she's going to get the answers on how, like, what is the best way to overcome these challenges and dealing with these situations. But again, she doesn't need to know the full story as to why these people are coming to her with such attitudes or with such negativity. Like, she doesn't need to focus on that to solve the issue. She just needs to learn how to get the right tools to deal with situations like those, basically. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you learned from this, or at least found it entertaining. I thought this was a very interesting reading, because I do feel that this is something that to me feels like common sense, but I kind of don't realize that for some people, this is something that they kind of will learn to do, or some do, not everyone. I do feel that with growing up, some people kind of just learn to kind of put the guard down and be, not the guard down, but like put their battle stance down and be like, you know what, you're not worth fighting, you're not worth my time. And I do feel that this is something that she's learning, and I do feel that this is an essential tool. Like, sometimes do not waste your breath for people that are not worth it, guys. Anyway, life lesson out of the way. I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and bye.